Hey YouTube, Jay Kilroy here in the office. Sorry I've been absent, been busy as all get out. Stretched thin like rubber band, hopping like a one-legged paper hanger type of thing. Anyway, look, we're going to have a little box opening action. It's time for some new toys, seriously needed equipment for the shop. Actually this is needed. And we're going to go do a little, the IT guys are always doing the box openings, so we're going to do a little box opening here. And let me get the camera moved around. Alright, what we have here is a box of goodies from Zorro Tools. I can't say I've ever used them as a vendor before, but I ordered some stuff from them via the great eBay, and we have some stuff here. So let's see what we got. Big old catalog. That was nice of them. Didn't ask for that, but invoice, otherwise known as add that to the filing stack. And then a rather heavy little box. Let's see if anybody recognizes this here. Let's see. Oh yes, 1946 to 2013, Aloris Tool Company. That's right. I got a new tool post for my small lathe. And after much thought and deliberation of different types of posts, I decided I wanted to get an American-made post. It's not that I'm hyper-patriotic type or you know, always buy American. I mean, I looked a lot at the multi-fix style, Swiss multi-fix style, but I gotta say to myself, there's only two kinds of multi-fix out there. There's the Chinese made, and then there's the Swiss made. And I'll be honest, I can't afford the Swiss made, so that was kind of out of the question. Then I was back to the drawing board as far as a tool post goes, and I decided, okay, it was either going to be an American-made post. Nobody in the United States makes a multi-fix style post, so this is what we got. Right off the bat here, just so everybody knows, this is a BXA size. This is a BXA size post, which is in the literature says 10 to 15 inch swing. This is to go on my Rivett 220, and here you go. It is a wedge style. I don't even know if Aloris still makes a piston style post. Initial impressions are good. Very well made, well machined, well packed. So yeah, impressive. And this is a setup I got from, it's a kit, or it's a starter set that I got from Zorro Tools, which was a tool post and then several different holders, and we'll look at each of the holders here. This is the most basic style, BXA 1 regular straight shank or square shank tool holder style. This is BXA 7, which is a parting blade style holder. Probably, honestly, won't end up using this because I'll probably end up using a parting blade holder and a regular for a indexable parting blade. But again, very well made. Let's see what we got here. This is another of the BXA1 style holders, and there's a little box in here. And if I'm going to guess, this is a BXA 4D, which is a boring bar style holder. I'll definitely use that. That's the box there. And there are all the pieces on my old desk here. It comes with a blank T-nut, as you can see here, unmachined T-nut adapter. So we will have a video soon. It's going to be a few days. Hate to say that, but I got to go out of town for work. That's going to be adapting this to the lathe, cutting this down to size. I think the width's about right. And then we'll go on about mounting up my most used tools in various in the tool holders. And then I'm sure we're going to have some videos on possibly making our own tool holders, even though I have to say these are extremely well made. They're well machined and they're hard, and they have a nice finish, quality fine thread stud for the height adjustment, you know, quality fasteners. Some of the guys, I have a CXA in my pacemaker, and I have bought some of the imported holders, some of the you know, much less expensive holders from some of the discount vendors. And one of the kind of universal complaints, and one of the complaints that I've had several times, is that the set screws are junk. First thing you got to do when you get them is take all the set screws out, throw them in the trash, so that you don't make the mistake of actually using them on anything that's important, and replace the set screws. So and all the hardware, none of the rest of the hardware has this nice finish, nice knurling, and this looks like a stainless nut. So it doesn't have any of that quality hardware. So again, it's, you know, you pretty much get what you pay for. And if you want vendors like Aloris to be around, you know, they got to get some business. And so I don't know, you know, a lot of guys make their own blocks. You know, I don't know if I'm going to or not. I might not, but right now just buy them as I can afford them, as I can slip them into the tooling budget. And I am going to need, ultimately I am going to need quite a few more than this. The current tool post setup I have, I probably have a dozen or so, maybe more, maybe a little more than a dozen, maybe closer to 20. I have a dozen or so blocks, 20 blocks, and that's not enough on my small machine. So I'll certainly need way more than this. I've got a few more of these BXA 1s already, and the BXA 2s, which is the same style block with a grooved bottom where you can put a round bar in it. I've got a few of those already. Alright, we have a little memory card fill up there. Anyway, I was just saying, I've got a few of these types of posts, BXA 1 post already, to kind of help me fill out a set. And let's at least give it a little bit of a try here, see how this thing feels. That's pretty nice. Nice and firm. Very smooth, smooth as glass, butter, smooth as butter. Just like like I said, I've got a CXA on my the size up from this CXA on my pacemaker, and it's came with the pacemaker, and it's old and it's quite beat up, and it still works just fine. I'm expecting a long and useful life. This tool post should easily outlast me, and we should be able to make lots of good parts with a piece of equipment like this. Anyway, that is about that. Not much more to report other than the fact that I've been working hard. It's a very busy time for me this time of year, and I just haven't had time to spend in the shop, at least not time to spend in the shop in any type of, pleasurable way, doing videos. Doing the videos is a lot of fun. Really enjoy doing the videos, but I will say that doing any particular task while videotaping takes at least 3 to 4 times as much time as it would take to do the task just straight up. So if you're trying to work and actually make money and your time is of value, it's extremely difficult to videotape it and actually still make a profit. So I'm gonna work on that as far as getting better cameras, better mounting equipment and everything, but the videoing does slow things down dramatically. So anyway, be back to you soon. We'll do a video on modifying this T-nut, and probably a pretty brief little video, and then we'll go from there. Matter of fact, you know what? I think I'm just going to go modify the T-nut now and just tack it on to the end of this. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and cut the T-nut to the proper dimensions here and get this baby mounted on the lathe. Alright, here we are at the old Rivett 1020. I called it a 220 earlier, and I was just freaking. This is basically a Monarch 10EE sized machine, a little more swing. This is a very late model called the 1020F, 1968 vintage, one of the latest I've ever seen. And it has an extra ½ inch of swing, so it's about 13.5 inches swing, 20 inches between centers. And it's a great little machine. It needs some work, but we'll probably be doing that together. So this is where the tool post is going to mount, and the T-nut is the T-nut slot is 1.75 wide. .375 thick. So that's the raw dimensions, so we need to cut a little bit less than that. This top piece here is 1 inch wide, 0.999, and it is, try not to get it away, ½ inch thick. So let's pull the blank out. Let's pull the part that comes out with it here. This is what the tool post will basically look like up here. I think it's a good fit, good size for a machine like this. The AXA would have been too small, there's no doubt about that. So let's put this to the side. So the block that they give you, that comes with the BXA, is 2 1/4 inches wide. So we've got to cut quite a bit off of that. And it's 5/8 of an inch thick. But that dimension is really not important. The length dimension here is really not important. So we need to take that block down from 2 1/4 to 175. So basically we got to cut a ½ inch off of this thing. And then we need to take it down from 5/8 on the wings here down to 3/8. So we're going to keep 1/4 inch off the thickness. So we're going to do all this on the mill. I've done 2 nuts on the shaper. Now we're going to do 2 nuts on the mill. So we're going to take this over and get it set up. And the first thing we're going to do is cut equal amounts from each side. We've got to cut a 1/2 inch. So we're going to cut a 1/4 inch off of each side here. And then we'll worry about the thickness. So let's get set up on the mill and make that happen. Alright, we're over here at the big Kearney Trekker. No, relatively big Kearney Trekker. They make them a lot bigger than this. We got our block chucked up in the vise. We got some 3/8 inch tool bits down here as our standoffs. And firmly cut up. We got a cutter that was in the mill, and that's what we're going to use because it was in the mill. And it's a 2-inch diameter, 6 flute, cobalt steel style mill, and with a 1 1/4 shank. And what we're going to do now is we're going to raise the mill until we just touch off. Then we're going to back off, and we're going to raise the knee 1/4 inch to take our cut, and then we're going to swap the block over, put a spacer under it to compensate for that 1/4 inch, and take another cut. So let's touch off here. Alright, let's move out. Okay, we just touched off there. And now I'm going to zero my dials. Over here, I'm going to go ahead and let's tell you what, we're going to take the first cut at 100 thou. Which is basically 1 rotation of the hand wheel, the knee crank on this thing. And we're running at about 145 RPM, which is about 77 surface feet per minute. We got a speed of around 1.8 inches a minute, which gives us a tooth load of about 2 thou per tooth. Like I said, we don't really know what this is, but it seems to be fileable, so it's not hard. So we're going to go ahead and fire in the hole here. Not bad. I did not realize that I wasn't taking a full width cut. And I don't want to do this twice. Again, we're taking about 100 thou in some unobtainium. It doesn't appear to be that hard. 147 RPM, approximately 80 surface feet per minute. Not exactly what you would call pushing it, but still getting the job done. Repeating it 1.8 inches per minute. And appear to be getting a very nice surface finish. No coolant being used, obviously, on this small cut. Very smooth, very nice finish. So let's feedback. Let's cut the last 150. That's 100. That's 150. So that's the full. This will bring us to the full depth of the 1/4 inch off of each side. Heavy cutting oil. I use plumbing. It's Harvey's Clear heavy sulfurized oil. The advantage of the clear is you can use it on brass and bronze and other materials that might get stained from the dark sulfurized oil, so I do like the Harvey's. Good stuff. Alright, about to finish the cut up here. Let's reverse it. Alright, now we're going to take it out of the vise. We're going to swap the workpiece over after we get a spacer. Alright. Not that hot at all. What I'm using here as a spacer is a piece of 1/4 inch tool steel. Ground on all sides, a piece of Latrobe. So I'm going to drop that in here. This will compensate for the cut we just took. Make sure it's centered. Oop. There's our finish on that. Very nice finish. Going to swap the block over and tighten her up. Nice and snug. Alright, before we make this last cut, you know what, it's probably smart to check how much we cut off last time. So this block was 2 inches wide. 2 1/4 inches wide, excuse me. And we are now 199 and something. So we took off just a tear over 1/4 of an inch. So, which is fine. I'll put this back in here. Cinch it down good and tight. This is not a machine. Give it a good wrap with the lead hammer. Again, make sure we're good and tight in that vise. And let's fire her back up. Alrighty. Back off just a little bit. So I don't take quite as much as I did last time. going to take the full cut. You can tell by looking at the workpiece, that's making a hot chip. Reverse it, feed it out. Shut it down. Now let's look at some chips. See if we can see some of these here. You got some blue chips there, so that's a hot cut, but we're done, so can't complain about that, at least with the width part. Let's take it out and check our work. Oh, not that bad. Taking the heat away with the cut, which is what it's supposed to do. Alright. Alright, we've cut to width. We're back over at the mill. Let me show you a little surface finish here. Look at that. That doesn't suck, does it? Now granted, it's an Aloris toolpost. It's probably hitting, 1018. They might give you something a little better, but that's pretty good. Our total dimension here on the width of the slot is 1.75, and I'm hitting 1.748, so I'm real happy with that. That's going to give us a really nice, snug fit. We may even have to go in and do a little hand fitting, to make it just right. So what we want to do now is we've got to cut the T portion, and we measured earlier. The slot is 3/8 of an inch. No, actually it's not. Yeah, 375. So it is 3/8 of an inch tall here, and the center portion, the neck here, is 0.999. So basically, we've got 1 3/4 inch wide piece here. We want to leave an inch, roughly an inch wide piece in the middle. We want to cut 1/4 of an inch down and 3/8 of an inch on both sides, and that will give us the shape that we're looking for. So we're going to set this back up in the mill. We're going to use the same basic setup that we have previously, and we're just going to go ahead and set up and take these 2 cuts. Then we're going to mount her up. Alright, we're back in the mill. We got our block right where we left it off, which means all of our spacers are set the same. The top of our workpiece is the bottom of our cutter. So we want to cut off 3/8 of an inch deep, 1/4 inch into the workpiece. You notice I've moved to the other side of the workpiece because I don't want to climb cut this. So I'm going to zero my dial. And now I'm going to come down 3/8 of an inch, which is 3 turns, 300, 2, 3, that's 300. Oh, going the wrong way. 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I gotta come up to it. 1, 2, 3. That's 300 right there. And now we want to come up 75. 50, 60, 75. There you go. That's 375. So we're going to feed over, get it here in front of the workpiece, we're going to touch off, and then we're going to back out on the y-axis 1/4 of an inch to get our depth of cut. So let's do that right now. Alright. There we got the hole, the center of the workpiece over the work. And we're going to start backing up. There we go. Touching the workpiece. How in the world do you know, I ask? Let's speed it out. Let me see if I can zoom in here and show you this witness mark. Alright, now let's zoom in here. I had a memory card fill up. See this witness mark? Right there. Just touching the workpiece. You can't even really feel it with your finger. Zoom back out. So there we are. We're on the workpiece. So I'm going to zero my Y. Right there. And I'm going to come back 1/4 of an inch, which is exactly 1 rotation. There. That's 250. So that ought to give us the cut we're looking for. So let's fire it up and let it rip. We're going to leave the RPM settings, 147 RPM, where we were. We got some, if you're wondering, packing plastic on that cutter there. Alright, we're going to fire it up and make the cut. Tell you what, I'm going to lock some Y-axis here so we don't bump it. Lock the knee. So we don't bump it. Not that you need to on a machine like this, but at least for this cut. And this is going to throw chips at us. So could be exciting for the camera here and me. So I'll be standing out of the way. Alright, we got our first side cut here. Now we're just going to loosen up, swap it over, let's clean it off, make sure you don't have any chips on your workpiece, which is virtually impossible. Make sure the parallels are clean, make sure the vice jaws are clean, you don't want to pick up any junk. Swap this over. Cinch it up. Give it a little lead mallet wrap a tap there. Tighten it on up. And let's get ready to make the next cut. Let's fire it up. Alright, we're going to leave everything the same, depth of cut. In both directions, in both the Z and the Y. Everything's still locked down. Let's fire the spindle up. And let's get it going. Alright, made our second pass here. Let's clean off the swarf here. Let's get our workpiece out, check it out. Alright, got our part done here. Well, done to this point. Give it a wipe down. And clean up. Let's do a little deburring here in a second. Let's check it out. Okay, the slot is a very nice snug fit, and the ears are a nice fit. Total width wise, right on it. With a very tight fit here. Let me get the camera. It's a very snug fit. This dimension here. So I'm going to take it over to the bench vise and put a file on it. Trim it down just a little bit and try to make this I want a little bit. If I have to move my tool post around, I don't want to have to work at it that hard, so let's go give that a shot. Alright, spend a little quality time with the file. We have a nice snug no slot fit there, sliding fit. So let's go ahead and do a little cleaning, clean this up to make sure we get all the chips off, mount the stud, and let's get this tool post mounted. Alright, move some tools out of the way here. We got our T-nut finished. Quick little project. Come on, there we go. Let's thread the stud in here. You'll notice it doesn't go through the bottom. I'm not going to Loctite it in there or anything like that. Let's Mount this baby on the lathe. Okay, here we are. We got a BXA 1 tool post. We have to tighten that up. Let's get a wrench. Alright. This isn't lined up with anything in particular, but just give it a snug. It's a 1-inch size on the BXA. And there we go. Pretty nice. So, plenty snug. Alright, we got a TPG. Uses a 3 series 300 3/8 inscribed circle TPG style insert, and real versatile tool holder. This one allows you to turn and face in one setup, which is nice. And let's go ahead and get it set on center height and see how it rides in here. How much range of motion we have left after we get this one set up. Okay. All right. All right, there we go. I like where the handle turns up here. This is a nice location. You know, less than a quarter of a turn, and it's completely locked up, just like my older CXA is a little more than this, but still. There you go. Brand new BXA tool post from Aloris Tool Tech in Clifton, New Jersey. Highly recommended. You know, and this is definitely a case where you get what you pay for, regardless of where you're going to actually buy your tool holders from. Getting a quality tool post, this is something you're going to interact with a lot, like we talked about. It's going to make a big difference to your day-to-day use of your machine, the enjoyment of using your machine. So, you know, make the investment and, you know, get a quality piece of equipment. And I don't think you're going to be disappointed for quite some time. So, hope you enjoyed running the mill a little bit and unboxing this brand new baby. Got some more tool goodies coming for the shop here soon, and we got a couple projects coming, but it's going to be a few days. Work's really got me backed up, so I'll get back to you soon. Y'all keep it safe in the shop.